Good morning, students. Today we are starting with the topic human excretory system. As you know that human being, they are ureotelism. It is a process of elimination of nitrogen, chiefly in the form of urea. Nitrogen is eliminated from the body in the form of urea. In these animals which are not much in where the water is not much available for speedy elimination of ammonia, it is converted in less toxic substance called urea and then eliminated from the body in the form of urine. In such animal, ammonia first combined with the carbon dioxide in their liver with the expenditure of the energy in the presence of enzyme arginase and finally get converted into the urea. Urea thus escape in the blood of these animals. Its concentration in the blood up to a certain limit is however useful for the animal, but beyond that it becomes toxic and thus its removal becomes essential. Urea is then eliminated in the form of urine through their excretory organ. So today we are discussing about this excretory system, or we called it as a human urinary system. Now the human urinary system, human excretory system consists of a pair of kidney. As you can see in the diagram, it consists of a pair of kidney, a pair of ureter, a urinary bladder and a urethra. Now coming to the most important part, that is kidney. The kidneys are reddish brown. As you can see the LS of the kidney over here. It's a LS of diagrammatic view of the kidney. The kidneys are reddish brown, paired structure, bean-shaped structure situated between the last level of the thoracic and third lumbar vertebra, close to the dorsal inner wall of the abdominal cavity. Each kidney of an adult human, it measures about 10 to 12 centimeter in length, and 5 to 7 centimeter in width and 2 to 3 centimeter in thickness, which an average weight is about 120 to 170 gram. Towards the center of the inner concave surface, towards the center of the inner concave surface of the kidney is a notch. There is a notch called the hilum. You can see also over here, this is a notch called the hilum, which move toward the longitudinal, through which the ureter, blood vessels, renal artery, renal vein and nerves enter into the space of the kidney. That is on the inner part, enter inside the kidney. Inner to the hilum is a broad funnel shaped structure. This broad funnel shaped structure called the renal pelvis, which project forming this projection. These projections are called calyces. The outer layer of the kidney, is a tough capsule. Inside the kidney there are two zones. An outer cortex and an inner medulla. The medulla is divided into few conical mass. These conical mass like structure is divided into few conical masses. These are called medullary pyramid. medullary pyramids which are projecting into the calyces, singular, that is a plural, single we called it as calyx. The cortex, this cortex extend in between these, as you can see here in the diagram, the cortex extend between these medullary pyramid as renal column. This part, this space like structure as renal column, called column of Bertini, this space, that is a column of Bertini. Each kidney has nearly 1 million complex structure, these thread-like structure, fiber-like structure, tubular structure called nephron, which is a functional unit of kidney. That is a functional unit of kidney. Each nephron has two parts. Glomerulus and a renal tubule. Glomerulus, I am showing you the enlarged structure. This part of the glomerulus is a tuft of capillary, as you can see in the diagram, is a tuft of capillaries formed by the afferent arteriole. That is a very fine branch of the renal artery. Blood from the glomerulus is carried away by the efferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole is entering into the glomerulus and the blood is collected by the efferent arteriole. The renal tubule begin with the double-walled cup-like structure. This cup-like structure called the Bowman's capsule. This double-layer structure, that is called the Bowman capsule, which encloses the glomerulus. This tuft of capillaries, that structure is called glomerulus, while this green portion, cup-like structure, that is called the Bowman's capsule. And both collectively, glomerulus and Bowman capsule, collectively they are called the Malpighian body. Or the renal corpuscle. The tubule continues. This tubule, Bowman capsule forming a tubule. The tubule continues further to form a highly coiled structure. This highly coiled structure called the proximal convoluted tubule, or in short PCT. A hairpin shaped structure. This U-shape hairpin, looking like a hairpin structure, called the Henle's loop. That is next to the PCT. It is next to the proximal convoluted tubule. It has descending limb and ascending limb. The ascending limb continues into another highly coiled tubular region called distal convoluted tubule. The DCT of many such nephron, this single nephron, but the DCT of many such nephron opens into a straight tube called the collecting duct. This straight tube called the collecting duct, many of which coverage and open into the renal pelvis through medullary pyramid in the calyces. The Malpighian corpuscle, or renal corpuscle, that is a combination of the Bowman capsule and the glomerulus, a tuft of capillaries. The Malpighian corpuscle, you can also see over here, Malpighian corpuscle, PCT and DCT of the nephron are situated, this much portion, are situated in the cortical part. This part are lying on the cortical region, this outer side, cortical region of the kidney, whereas the loop, this lower portion, loop-like structure, Henle's loop dips into the medulla, that is dipping in this cup-like structure called the medulla. In the majority of the nephron, the loop of Henle is too short and extend only very little into the medulla. Such nephrons are called cortical nephron. In some of the nephron, the loop of Henle is very long and run deep into the medullary part. These nephrons are called juxtamedullary nephron. They are called juxtamedullary nephron. Now the afferent arteriole, you can see over here the afferent arteriole emerging from the glomerulus form a very fine capillary network around the renal tubule called the peritubular capillaries. This one you can see over here, called the peritubular capillaries. A minute vessel, a very small vessel of this network run parallel to the Henle's loop. That is running parallel to the Henle's loop. Called Henle's loop. That part is called forming a U shape surrounding the Henle's loop. That is called vasa recta. It is called vasa recta. Vasa recta is absent or highly reduced in case of cortical nephron. In case of cortical nephron, that is almost present or reduced. This Bowman tuft of capillary glomerulus, Bowman capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop, yellow portion, distal convoluted tube, and then collecting duct. Efferent arteriole, a very fine peritubular capillary, a very fine minute part of this network forming a loop over the Henle's loop. That is called the vasa recta. Now we are moving how the urine is being formed in this nephron. Now urine formation involves three main processes. It involves three main processes, namely glomerular filtration, called the glomerular filtration. Urine formation include the processes glomerular filtration, reabsorption, and secretion that take place in different parts of the nephron. Now moving to the first step, that is a glomerular filtration. That is filtration of the blood, which is carried out by the glomerulus part, the first part, network, this one, network of capillaries. In this part, it is responsible for the filtration, called the glomerular filtration. On an average, human being produces round about 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is being filtered by the kidney per minute, which constitute roughly 1/5 of the blood pumped out by each ventricle of the heart in a minute. The glomerular capillaries blood pressure cause filtration of the blood through three layers. These three layers are endothelium of glomerular blood vessel, that is of blood vessel, endothelium layer of blood vessel, epithelium of Bowman capsule. and basement membrane. And basement membrane, as I am showing you in the diagram. First, endothelium of these blood vessels, the epithelium of this Bowman capsule, and the basement membrane. Between these two layers, the epithelial cell of the Bowman capsule, they are very specialized, called the podocyte. They are arranged in such a manner so to leave very small minute spaces called filtration slit or slit pore. The blood is so finely filtered through these membrane that almost all the constituent of the plasma except the protein pass into the lumen of the Bowman capsule. Therefore, it is considered as a process called the process of ultrafiltration. That is because of the podocyte cell or the filtration slit or slit pore. The amount of the filtrate formed by the kidney per minute is called glomerular filtration rate. That is GFR, glomerular filtration rate. GFR in healthy individual is approximately 125 ml per minute. That means 180 liter per day. 180 liter per day. The kidney have built-in mechanism for the regulation of the GFR rate. One such efficient mechanism is carried out by juxtaglomerular apparatus or JGA, juxtaglomerular apparatus, JGA. JG are specialized sensitive region formed by the cellular modification in the distal convoluted tubule just surrounding these portion. They have a specialized cell called the JGA, juxtaglomerular apparatus, and that is a cellular modification in the distal convoluted tubule and the afferent arteriole at the location of their contact. A fall in GFR activates the JG cell to release renin, which stimulate glomerular blood flow, and thereby the GFR rate is getting back to the normal. A comparison of the whole volume of the filtrate formed per day, that is 180 liter per day, to that of the urine released, that is about 1.5 liter, suggests that nearly 99% of the filtrate has to be reabsorbed by the renal tubule. This process is called reabsorption. The tubular epithelial cell in different segment of the nephron perform this either by active or by passive mechanism. For example, substances like glucose, essential substances like glucose, amino acids, sodiums, etc. They are absorbed. They are absorbed in the filtrate, are reabsorbed actively, whereas nitrogen waste are absorbed by passive transportation. They are absorbed by active transportation, and nitrogenous waste, they are absorbed by passive transportation. Reabsorption of the water also occur passively in the initial segment of the nephron, that is in the descending loop. Now, during these urine formation, the tubular cell secretes substances like H plus ion, hydrogen ion, potassium ion, and ammonia into the filtrate. They are secreting these substances into the filtrate. The tubular secretion is also an important step in the urine formation, as it help in the maintenance of ionic and acid base balance of the body fluid. Now the function of the tubule. First one, moving to the PCT. PCT, that is lined by the simple cuboidal brush border epithelium, which increases the surface area for the reabsorption. So it helps in the reabsorption nearly all the essential nutrient and 70 to 80% of the electrolyte and water that is reabsorbed in this segment. PCT also help to maintain the pH and ionic balance of the body fluid by selective secretion. So rest tubular part, they will help in the reabsorption and secretion of the hydrogen ion, potassium ion, ammonium ion into the filtrate and by the absorption of bicarbonates ion. By the absorption of the bicarbonate ion. Henle's loop, it also have an important role in the reabsorption. But reabsorption in this segment is minimum. However, this region play an important role in the maintenance of high osmolarity. The maintenance of high osmolarity of the medullary